Hello, broadcasters. Welcome to episode 185 of the StreamYard Live Town Hall. My name's Geige, and I'm here with Dan, of course. Dan, how are you doing?
Doing great. How you doing?
Doing well. It's been a good week. Thank you all for tuning in tonight. For anyone new here, Dan and I are the founders of StreamYard, and we do these town halls every single Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific, and we do them for a few reasons. One is to stay in tune with all of you, go through the same type of flow that you all do with your own shows. Two is to answer any of your questions. We love covering various topics and anything you'd like to sort of discuss here. So feel free to leave anything you'd like us to chat about in the comments. We'll do our best to get to as many as we can. And then I always mention the three pillars of StreamYard, which are ease of use, stability, and professional streams. So if you're about those three things, StreamYard is the tool for you. Appreciate people all mentioning where they're tuning in from. I think I saw some new locations tonight. I think I saw Montserrat. I haven't ever seen Montserrat before. So very, very cool. Before I forget, we have lots of awesome shows that you should catch if you're interested. We've got the StreamYard Spotlight, the second Thursday of every month at 8 p.m. Eastern, which is a really fun show. All about you, all about the community and how folks are having success with live streams. So if you're looking for inspiration, definitely check that out. And if you're interested in being featured, shoot an email to contact@streamyard.com. We have YouTube channel reviews with Dee and Daniel the second Saturday of every month. Really great show if you're looking to up your YouTube game. They give really great actionable tips when it comes to things like thumbnails, how often to post, banner content on YouTube, all kinds of stuff there. So definitely check that out if you have any interest in YouTube. And we also have Enhance Your Live Streams the last Tuesday of every month with Nick Nimmin, who's definitely a pro when it comes to live streams and everything video. So if you're looking for specific live streaming tips from a pro, definitely check that one out. And one thing we've been doing at the start of these is so we get to know a bit more about you and you get to know a little bit more about us is a fun fact. So feel free to answer it yourself. And the one we chose for this week was most memorable school trip. Do you have a most memorable school trip, Dan?
Cool. We had a lot of fun school trips. I would say there's a few that come to mind for me. I'll pick one though. I think for me it was we went to this place. It was called Tribune Bay. It's basically this, I don't know what you call it, outdoor activity place or like campsite type thing. So our whole class went there. This is in grade 6. And there's all kinds of things like walking on these super high ropes. And it was just in this like really remote location. So we were all camping outside in tents and we were there for about a week, I think. Went hiking all over the place. It was just a lot of fun. A lot of different things on that trip. How about you?
Cool. I actually haven't been on too many school trips. So I think one of the most memorable ones I have is actually when I was pretty young. We all went to the pumpkin patch. I think it's memorable just because it was a lot of fun. Because it was like half pumpkin patch, half like not a carnival, but carnival-esque things like, try to hit the pumpkin with another pumpkin.
Okay, cool.
There's like activities and stuff. That was probably it.
Okay. Just picturing you guys throwing pumpkins at each other or something.
No, not at each other, but
was there any of those huge pumpkins?
Oh yeah, there was gigantic pumpkins for sure. All right, cool. Yeah, see lots of fun school trips. Some to the YMCA. Where else? Eden's Camp. It's a place of relevance in World War I and II. Very cool.
Cool.
Let's see what else we have here. Federal Prison Talk says, I have tried to stream to 3 YouTube channels at once, but it didn't work. I was added as a manager on the other 2 YouTube channels, but nothing showed in destinations. So you should, if you have access to those destinations and have connected them on it as a destination on StreamYard itself, you should have no trouble there. Prison Talk, I would reach out to live chat at streamyard.com/contact, and they can walk through the steps with you to make sure that nothing was missed there. But if you're on the basic plan, you should have no troubles with that.
Yeah, you should be able to, like I think you're trying to do, just go to your destinations page, connect to YouTube, make sure you're choosing the right channel. Should be able to do all 3. I've got several hooked up on my account. And
reading the question now, Federal Prison Talk, I read it as if, like you say, nothing shows in destinations. So it won't show up in destinations just because you're a manager. You have to actually go to the destinations and click add a new destination and go through the flow to connect it.
Yep.
Clarine says, thanks, Geige, Dan, and SY. Love the SY swag I received from last week's town hall. Wow, it traveled. It's crazy how shipping works. Some places it takes forever. Another place, it's really quick. Awesome. I'm glad that you already got it, Clarine.
Cool. I'd be curious what your favorite one was of the things you received.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, Andy, it's been a minute. I hope you're doing well. Nice to have you here. Tristan passing along a question from Brigetti. LinkedIn changed stream description characters from 3 to 5,000 probably 6 months ago. Will SY adjust so you need to cut text when you set up a stream and then have to change after? Do you want to cover that one, Dan?
Yeah, so I believe, and I could check again, but last time we checked this, LinkedIn has updated on LinkedIn's end, but they haven't updated it through their API, which is what StreamYard uses to communicate with LinkedIn. So we're kind of limited. If we try to send 5,000 characters to LinkedIn, it's actually not allowed. It's only if you do it on LinkedIn. So we've chatted with them about that, and I'm hoping it'll be fixed pretty soon. But at least on the bright side, at least you can do 3,000. It would suck if it was like you could only do 100 on StreamYard and 5,000 on LinkedIn or something. But yeah, hopefully we can get that resolved.
Cool. Let's see what else we had here. I'm enjoying all the different trips. I see several zoos. Zoo was always a good one. I think we went to the zoo at one point.
Cool.
International music.
Our school used to go skiing. They used to take the whole school skiing, and then I think there's some pretty nasty skiing accidents, and they stopped doing that.
Yeah, fair enough. Makes sense.
Dangerous activity.
All right. Let's see what else we have here. Champrix says, because of SY, my YouTube spiked up last week. Thank you, guys. Well, congrats, Champrix. I'd be curious the type of content that you were making that got that spike. It's awesome.
Cool.
Andy says, I'm loving all the screen share options. I'm glad to hear that, Andy. I'm just trying to think of some of the new options we've.
I'm just wondering, just to confirm, Andy, are you talking at the bottom, like with the share slide, share video, all that stuff, or within the picker itself, like share tab, share window, share full app, or share full desktop, I guess it is? Let us know.
Prison Talk says, when I added the destination, it asked for the other channel's email and password. I think Dana mentioned that in the chat. Prison Talk, if you don't want to share that information, it has to be a brand account. But if it's a brand account and they add you on as a manager, you'll use your own email and password because you'll be able to select the brand account.
As far as I know, yeah. However, you kind of log into YouTube, like when you're on YouTube, in the top right, you can switch accounts. If you typically use your normal email and password to log in, then that's how you would also do it when you connect with StreamYard. That makes sense.
All right. Let's see what else we have. Brothers-in-law says, what's the best way to take live calls using StreamYard? Yeah, absolutely. So that's definitely a popular one that comes up. There's a few different options. The one that I would probably recommend if you have the budget for it is using something like the Rodecaster, which is an audio interface that sort of sits between your microphone and your computer. And the Rodecaster allows you to hook a cell phone up into it directly and take calls directly from the Rodecaster. And essentially StreamYard just uses that as your microphone. So you'll be able to do the calls from the Rodecaster, and it goes into StreamYard. And then the other option is to use something
like Google Meet.
Yeah, use something like Google Meet and a virtual audio device to route it in. It's a bit more of a complicated process, but we do, I think, have a doc walking through how to do it. So if you just go to StreamYard.com/contact, and also where the chat is, if you just type it in, you can find the help docs as well. I think that'll walk you through it.
Google Voice, right? Not Google Meet, or I guess you can use either.
Sorry, for a phone number, yes, my mistake. Google Voice.
Yeah. And just to confirm as well, like I think your question was, how do you take a live call like on the phone, like some kind of call-in show? But obviously, one of the key things about StreamYard is you can invite guests on their computer or on their phone, even in the browser, if you don't want it to be an actual phone call. So that's way easier. Just send them the link and invite them. But yeah, if you need it to be a phone call, that's where you want to do. One of the things Geige said.
Awesome. Let's see. Michelle Media says, any idea why some of our Facebook viewer comments don't show their names on the live stream? It shows them as a Facebook user. I've seen a couple of people ask about that in the chat. So we have seen that on a few streams, and believe it's a bug related to the Facebook new page experience. And Facebook is working to resolve it, I believe, right? Dan, any other thoughts on that one?
Yeah. So I guess a couple of things. If you're streaming to a group, so you may already know this, but if you're streaming to a group, it's been a problem for a while where all comments by default will look like that, and you need to have your viewers, there's like a link explaining it on StreamYard and everything. If your viewers go to the specific StreamYard link, they can connect their account, and then you'll see their information. But that's for groups. Yeah, there's another one for pages recently where some people, and it seems to be kind of random, it'll just say Facebook user, and it's basically Facebook's just not telling us who that person is, so we're just putting something there so you can still see the comment. Yeah, hoping they're going to resolve that pretty soon.
Cool. And he says, regarding screen sharing, yes, uses all of those as well as the video file share, tab windows, and others. Very cool. And he happens to be fishing while watching the stream. That's impressive. That's awesome. I assume on a mobile device or something. Very cool. All right, maybe do a couple more. We also had some other topics we wanted to touch on tonight, so I'll get to those in just a second here. Coffee Talk and Tech says, use Zoom PodTrack 4 is much cheaper to add a phone. Is that something that's like alternative to a Rodecaster, Coffee Talk? And he was appreciate the suggestion. Very cool. I'm not familiar with that device. Chlorine's the biggest fan. Well, it depends. The hoodie is super soft, but the duck is on the prime real estate. So awesome to hear, Chlorine.
Cool. Mine's on my desk as well.
All right. Whitfield says, how do I work at StreamYard? We have open job applications, Whitfield. So if you can just apply through those links.
Is it how do I work at StreamYard, or just how do I get StreamYard to work?
Oh, I think
either way.
I think looking at the question after that, I think it's how do I get StreamYard working? Yeah, great question, Whitfield. So we do try to make it pretty where you can just sort of sign up and sort of walks you through it. So I would recommend just going to StreamYard.com. There's a free version, signing up and sort of clicking your way through it. I think that'll give you a pretty good idea of how everything works. If you do need more help than that, we do have a weekly webinar that sort of walks through everything there is to know about StreamYard. If you just go to StreamYard.com/webinars/getting-started, I think Dana can hopefully share it in the chat as a link. That's a great one. And the YouTube channel, StreamYard YouTube channel, has a ton of resources as well.
Yep.
Pixel Pia says, question, I love the upload slides, but my co-host can't see them beforehand, even when I have uploaded them, only when we are both in the studio. Is that right?
My co-host can't see them beforehand, even when I upload them, only when we're both. So basically, they won't see them until you put them on screen, if that answers it for you. So let's say I was a guest on the show with Geige. If say Geige has some slides and he invites me into the broadcast, I can't see anything, obviously, until they're on screen. Like, I can't see the slides at the bottom of the screen, I guess is what I mean. So as a host, you'll see your own slides at the bottom, even when they're not in the stream. The guests won't see them unless you add them to the stream. But yeah, what you can do if you want them to see them ahead of time is, invite them earlier, put the slides on screen, kind of scroll through them or something. Depends on your use case. I'm kind of making some guesses here, but yeah, let me know if that answers the question or if I'm totally missing this.
If someone's an admin, can they see the slides, Dan?
Someone's part of your team, yes.
Okay.
Actually, I guess you said co-host. So co-host, I think the co-host will see your slides at the bottom even. If they're a guest, they won't. If they are a co-host, like, at the team level, you've made them a co-host, I think they will see your slides. So
I think if they're not seeing them, Pixel Pia, maybe shoot a message to support StreamYard.com/contact, because it makes sense to me that they should see them. So if that's not how it works, we'll change it to work like that.
I can test the adapter as well, but yeah, I feel like they should see them.
All right. Quite a few more questions here, but first I just want to make sure we get to a couple of the topics we had for tonight. One was the StreamYard news link. Not sure how many of you have noticed it. It's been up for a bit. If you just go to StreamYard.com and are logged in under my account, there's a news link which basically just shares the latest updates about StreamYard. So we're just curious to check in if that's something that you guys are using, if it's useful, if there's anything you'd like to work differently about it. We're just curious if you had any feedback about that new news link that's on the dashboard.
And you might have a slightly different opinion than other users, just because obviously if you're here at the town hall, you're probably used to seeing us announce things live. So it is like a different format, I would guess, but you can also obviously check out both. And some of the smaller things we might not, mention on the news link, but we'll still mention in this town hall.
And a question from Frederick: any updates on support for HTML overlays? I don't have any specific updates, Frederick, other than giving users more flexibility when it comes to customizing the overall stream is something that is a high priority for us and that we're exploring, and stuff like HTML overlays is part of that exploration. So wish I could give you more specificity and dates and stuff like that, but just stay tuned.
Yeah, we're basically always trying to find ways to make it very easy for people to customize the stream farther.
Cool. Let's see what else we had here. Probably pronouncing this wrong. Joji says, is it possible to trim the beginning and ending of a video in StreamYard? You want to take that one, Dan?
Yeah, definitely. So not right now. So right now, if you wanted to trim them, you could download it and then use any number of tools to trim it. I usually just use Canva myself, or actually Streamable works great as well. Streamable is like part of the same Hopin product family that StreamYard is. So not right now, but it is something we're very interested in, is just making it easier to edit things post-production. So it's like another area we're very interested in that we've been working on for quite a while.
Cool. Renee says, to that question about co-hosts seeing slides, they go away when you leave the studio too, if I'm not mistaken, or is that just Hopin?
So they do go away when you leave the studio.
Okay.
So if you add some slides and then you refresh the page or come back the next day, your slides aren't automatically at the bottom, but we do save them. So slides do get uploaded to our servers. So if you click to share again, you'll still see your slides in there, and then you just need to click them and they'll be added again. You don't have to re-upload them or anything.
Cool. And I see a few other questions about the behavior of co-hosts with slides. And if that behavior we described of them being able to see it is not how it works now, we will change that.
Yeah. Or we'll at least like investigate and see what's going on there.
All right. Sounds like a lot of people either are just now learning about the news feature or are fans of it. So good to know. If there's anything you'd like it to work differently with it, or if there's any suggestions on other things that you'd like to be shared there beyond just the feature updates, let us know. Creative Lady says, any plans to allow bulk overlay deletions? Thanks. Have we added the bulk upload feature yet, Dan?
Yes. So you can bulk upload overlays. You can't bulk delete them yet, but yes, we would like to add that. We're mostly just trying to figure out the nicest way to do it, so it doesn't kind of bloat the product or anything, but I definitely get the use case on that one.
Yeah. So hopefully that helps Creative Lady. We do plan to do it. All kinds of quality of life type things like that we'd like to add.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see what else we had here. Ghost Nancy says, is there a way to be able to share two different windows so I don't have to close one and open another one when I can drop down the one I don't need for a moment and don't have to share the whole window? So I think Ghost Nancy sort of would solve this is you kind of want to share multiple screens at the same time, or multiple tabs at the same time, which right now you can only share one. You can use the share functionality like once. You can't really do it twice. It is possible for us to change that functionality. I'd be curious if anyone else has ever wanted to do that, where they have multiple basically shares going on that they're switching between. You can do it if you have a co-host, because they have their own sharing functionality, so you could switch between the screens that way. But appreciate the suggestion, Ghost Nancy, and if other folks want that, would be good to know. Any other thoughts on that one, Dan?
No. Yeah, also curious how many people would love it. It makes sense. Like, it's something we've definitely considered. Like Geige mentioned, it is pretty heavy on your computer, so we'd want to figure out a way to make it a lot lighter if possible. But I definitely get the need.
Words of Encouragement says, if I delete a video from SY, would it also delete on YouTube and Facebook? So when you hit the delete button, Zarian, it prompts you to say, would you also like to delete it on YouTube and Facebook? So I'll always check with you. So it just depends on whether or not you check that option. And I think in the video library, so if you delete something from the library, it doesn't prompt you, but it also doesn't delete them on YouTube and Facebook, right, Dan?
Yeah, so if you do want it to delete on YouTube and Facebook, then you can go to your broadcast page. There's a past broadcast tab. You click on that, you delete it from there, and you say delete broadcast. So there's delete recording, which is like the StreamYard recording. But if you say delete broadcast and then you check the box that says YouTube and Facebook, it will actually delete it on YouTube and Facebook. But that's the only time it'll delete it on YouTube and Facebook.
Cool.
We try to make it very hard to accidentally delete things on YouTube and Facebook. Like you need to be very intentional that you want to do it.
All right. I see a few more questions kind of similar to the overlay question. So one from Geige, is there a way to add transitions like fade out, fade in between video and host video? So not at the moment, other than what's built into the layout options now. So if I click the solo layout for Dan, for example, he kind of animates in the same way it sort of fades into me. So there are those default options there, but not a ton of customization. But like we sort of mentioned earlier, that's a big piece of exploration we're going into now, is how can we give you guys more flexibility without while keeping the product really, really easy to use. But it's a huge priority for us. And then a similar question from Data is King. Will there be any fancy text overlays that we can use during the stream for better engagement? So similar answer is just more customization in general is something we're exploring data. So stay tuned on that one. The other option specifically for overlays, which you probably are already aware, but you can upload anything you like in the overlays section, right? So if you want to do anything creative there regarding overlays, you absolutely can do that. All right. Gustav is asking if the giveaway tool is case sensitive. I believe it is case insensitive, right, Dan?
Yep, correct. So if it's hashtag the yard or the yard lowercase, either one of them is totally fine. As long as it's hashtag the yard, just one word. Like if there's a space in there, it won't work. But yeah, case insensitive. And it only registers once. I would add as well. Like if you type it 10 times, it'll still only register once.
All right. Let's see what else we have here. You have one more thing I wanted to get to before our giveaway. I'll just go ahead and ask it now as I go through some of the final questions here. It's been a while since we asked this. Was just curious, especially since for a long time it seemed to be the custom background music that was recently added. What as of now is, and some of you have already suggested it with the questions, but if you had to pick just one in terms of the biggest thing you want from StreamYard right now, we'll be very, very curious what that is now that we've added things like custom background music and a lot of these different things. Sounds like that customization stuff is coming up a lot, but curious how other folks feel.
Yep.
And with that, Dan, should we go ahead and start queuing up the giveaway for tonight?
We should, yeah.
G-Link says, does StreamYard have an annual user conference, virtual or in person? So we have done several conferences. We generally do one big one virtually every year that we've done twice now, and we're going to continue doing that. It has a different theme and name every year. The one for this year has already happened. So stay tuned. If you're signed up for StreamYard, you'll get notified when the next one is happening. I don't know if I would define it as a user. Is it a user conference, Dan? I don't know what the strict definition of a user.
Yeah,
it's mostly.
I think I would call it a user conference.
User conference.
Yeah, it's all about just like, hey, here's a huge announcement or a bunch of features. We get all the users kind of in one place. Everyone can network with each other. Geige and I will often be part of the networking as well, just to get a chance to meet a bunch of you. I'd love to do one in person, though. We've always done them online.
Yeah, would be curious, G-Link, if in person something you'd like to see as well, or other types of conferences that you're a fan of.
In case it's not obvious, we love to meet users of StreamYard in any way we possibly can.
Yes, absolutely. For anyone that hasn't been to one of these town halls before, we do these giveaways at the end each week. It looks like most of you are familiar given the number of entries, but we'll give a few minutes here. If to be eligible to win the giveaway, all you have to do is type in hashtag the yard and you'll be entered. And it just counts once. So if you type it in a billion times, you're not going to get a bunch of entries or anything like that, but we appreciate the enthusiasm. And if you ever want to do your own giveaway, this tool is actually publicly available now. So if you go to StreamYard.com/giveaway, there's a video walking through how to use it, but you can basically screen share it and use it just how we're using it now for your own giveaways.
All right. What are we giving away for this one, Geige?
Yes, good question. We'll give away, how about the StreamYard pillow and the StreamYard plush duck for tonight.
Cool. Perfect. I think we're probably pretty stable. There's still a few coming in, but I think we're good.
All right, let's go ahead and do it.
Cool. Good luck, everyone.
Zev, congrats. Thanks so much for tuning in tonight. I've seen you in the chat a lot, so it's awesome that you won. Dana will reach out to you on Facebook to get your shipping information and set up with your brand new StreamYard pillow and StreamYard duck.
Cool. Congrats.
I think Dave's answer for the number one feature request is dark mode. I think I could have guessed that one. Very cool. I think we got a ton of feedback for that one. So yeah, these will be super useful to go through. I appreciate all the feedback on the number one request. Data is king, maybe predictably given the channel. Share files like documents and spreadsheets. Yeah, very, very cool. Makes sense, especially if you've got content that's all about modeling and that type of stuff.
Chris is volunteering his apartment for the event. Thanks, Chris.
Adrian's number one request is having overlay options supporting alpha video. That's a good one. We would certainly love to support that. Daniel says his number one request to talk to guests or have guests backstage. It's good to know, Daniel. I'd be curious. So there's sort of the backstage concept now of folks in the studio itself, but I'm assuming what you mean is being able to talk to them sort of like one-on-one, or do you want them to be able to talk to each other? Would be curious what would sort of be the ideal solution for you.
Yep.
See a couple people similar with the customizable theme or scenes. Good to know. SoCal hoping for more hotkeys and overlays. Awesome. That's definitely one that comes up. All right. Let's see what else we have here. Darren says, we need an hour of your time weekly. May we please expand the show? Well, appreciate that, Darren. I'm super glad you're a fan of it. Yeah, we're certainly open to going live more often. I think maybe what we might do is keep the format of this one similar, but maybe do an additional maybe customer event or maybe not even customer event, just more of a private event that's longer, where we go in more detail, maybe have people on itself and have it a bit more dynamic where we can go deeper on stuff. But yeah, we're open to it.
Yep.
Dana says the biggest thing I want from StreamYard is duplicate broadcast, so I don't have to type it in every week and upload my thumbnail. You would need to change the thumbnail though, wouldn't you, Dana? But like a new thumbnail. But I would also love duplicating broadcasts.
Yeah.
Let's see.
To be fair, some people probably have the same thumbnail every time.
Yeah, that's fair.
We don't. We do change the number, but we wouldn't have to change the number, I guess.
Joe Dog says, drag and drop on the dashboard to rearrange the order they appear on the dashboard. My number one request.
Interesting. So I see, just to confirm, I assume you're talking like the broadcast on the dashboard. And also, what order would you put them in? Like, would you prefer if you could just sort them by a few of the common things? Like, for example, we sort by when they were created right now. If you could just click a button to sort by the scheduled start time, would that do it for you? Or do you want a very custom ordering? I guess the scheduling one, even that could be kind of tricky, because if you're not scheduling some broadcasts and you are scheduling other ones, you wouldn't really have much flexibility for the unscheduled ones.
Cool. So yeah, if you don't mind, Joe Dog, maybe let us know. I appreciate there's like hundreds of number one requests, so Dan and I will have to do a deep dive on all of these, but it's super useful to know. So we appreciate that. And with that, this was episode 185 of the StreamYard Live Town Hall. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us. It's always a pleasure being with all of you, and we'll see you next week at the same time.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone. See you next week.